In this chapter, the author shares an important irony about wealth. It is what you don't see. The author recounts their time as a valet in Los Angeles, where material appearance was highly valued. They observed that many people who drove expensive cars were actually mediocre successes who spent a large portion of their income on their vehicles. The author tells the story of a man named Roger who drove a Porsche but later had it repossessed after defaulting on his car loan. This experience made the author realize that wealth cannot be judged solely based on outward appearances. The author explains that wealth is not about the things you see, such as fancy cars or luxurious homes. Instead, wealth is about the financial assets that haven't been converted into material possessions. It's about the nice cars not purchased, the diamonds not bought, and the first-class upgrades declined. Wealth lies in the options, flexibility, and growth that come from not spending all of your money. The author emphasizes the difference between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich is about having a high current income, while being wealthy is about accumulating financial assets and having the ability to make choices in the future. The problem is that society often focuses on the rich and their visible displays of wealth. The author compares wealth to diet and exercise, explaining that just as it's easy to undo the benefits of exercise by overeating, it's also easy to undo wealth by overspending. Building wealth requires self-control and the ability to resist immediate gratification. However, it is difficult to find wealthy role models because their success is often hidden. The author warns against quickly judging others' success based on outward appearances and encourages readers. They conclude by stating that saving money is valuable because wealth is about what you don't spend. In this chapter, the author discusses the importance of saving money and how it can lead to building wealth. They argue that building wealth is not solely dependent on income or investment returns, but rather on the savings rate. The author uses the analogy of energy efficiency to illustrate this point, explaining how the world overcame the oil crisis by becoming more efficient with the energy it used, rather than similarly becoming more efficient with money through personal savings, and frugality can have a significant impact on building wealth. The author emphasizes that the value of wealth is relative to what an individual needs. They provide an example of two individuals with the same net worth, but one is a better investor. However, the individual who is more efficient with their money and needs less to be happy ends up being better off. The author suggests that learning to be happy with less money creates a gap between what one has and what they want, which can be more in their control. Furthermore, the author discusses the relationship between spending and ego. They argue that spending beyond a certain level of materialism is often a reflection of ego approaching income rather than a necessity. By raising humility and caring less about what others think, individuals can save more money by spending less. The author also highlights that saving money does not always require a specific goal. While saving for a down payment on a house or retirement is common, savings without a spending goal provide options, flexibility, and control over one's time. This flexibility is seen as an unseen return on wealth, as it allows individuals to wait for opportunities and make choices on their own terms. In a hyper-connected world where competition spans the globe, the author argues that flexibility is becoming a more valuable competitive advantage than intelligence. They explain that flexibility allows individuals to stand out by being able to wait for good opportunities, learn new skills when necessary, and find their passion and niche at their own pace. Having control over one's time and options is seen as a valuable currency in today's world. Overall, the chapter emphasizes the importance of saving money, not only for building wealth, but also for gaining control over one's time and increasing flexibility. The author encourages individuals to save for the sake of saving and to prioritize frugality and efficiency in their financial decisions. In this chapter, the author emphasizes the importance of being reasonable rather than rational when making financial decisions. To illustrate this point, the author tells the story of Julius Wagner Uhrig, a psychiatrist who tried to cure syphilis with malaria. Despite the dangerous nature of his experiment, Wagner-Urig's unconventional approach led to successful recoveries in syphilis patients. The author argues that while rationality may be based on numeric facts, being reasonable takes into account the emotional and social aspects of decision-making. The author also discusses the concept of minimizing future regret and how it can guide investment strategies. Additionally, the author highlights the significance of loving one's investments and being passionate about them, as it increases the likelihood of sticking with them during difficult times. The chapter concludes by suggesting that there are times when it is reasonable, but not necessarily rational, to make certain financial decisions, such as investing in familiar companies or engaging in dating. Ultimately, the author encourages readers to consider the importance of being reasonable in their financial decision-making process.